My video for June the 5th, 2019 is video number 3107. The title is The Money Trap, the Unperceived Scam. Quote, "The rich will strive to establish their dominion and enslave the rest. They always did and they always will. They will have the same effect here as elsewhere if we do not, by the power of government, keep them in their proper spheres." End quote. That quote was made by a man whose first name is Gouverneur. It's a French word, not spelled like the governor of a state, but with a French spelling, Morris. And he lived from 1752 to 1816. And he represented Pennsylvania in the Constitutional Convention of 1787. And he was the author of large sections of the Constitution for the United States, credited as being the author of its Preamble. This came to me from the Information Clearinghouse, 100% non-commercial, fearless, forthright, and independent. They always find some wonderful quotations that I've used in the past and will use in the future. My question is, how many of us will get it? Even government is a trap that enslaves us all. Anyway, he served on the Committee of Style, which placed him in charge of the final wording of the United States Constitution. He wrote perhaps the most famous 7 words in American history: "We, the people of the United States." I'm recording this again. I mean, a lot has happened today, and I don't usually go back and redo a video unless there's a mistake. But there were things that happened today that make me want to reflect on some of the choices that I made earlier in the day, starting actually with last evening when I came home from, or when I actually was going out to my meeting. There was a note posted on my door that today they would be doing an inspection of the fire alarm system, and they would be coming into the apartments anytime between 8 a.m. in the morning and 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Well, I have had one of my neighbors, and this I didn't even talk about in the other recording, but in any case, I've had one of my neighbors have things stolen from his house because he claims that people that had access to his house, and of course the whole complex has access to each apartment. The staff can enter our apartments. Usually they give notice, but they're allowed to enter at any time. And of course, some of that is because many of us are senior citizens here, and some have died, and they've had to go into the apartment because all of a sudden the person was not being responsive. There were no phone calls being answered, nobody answering the door, so they had to go in. Anyway, be that as it may, I ended up not going to my normal Tuesday meeting. I canceled it because I don't like strangers coming into my house, my apartment, when I'm not home. Simple as that. So I just hung up the phone a little bit ago with my friend Steve Hart, who I go to the meetings, a coffee talk group. He calls it something else now. I even forget the term. I was say roundup. Yeah, right. No, it's a meetup group. That's what it's called. In any case, I didn't go today because of that scheduled air conditioning check and fire alarms, and not air conditioning, it was fire alarm check. I didn't go. So I just talked to Steve a little bit ago, and one of my friends who is part of that group, a lady from the former Soviet Union, Russia, St. Petersburg, came back today. And when I just talked to Steve a little while ago, I was really disappointed that I wasn't there, and that I have sat here all day long waiting for them to come into my apartment, and they never did. They never even showed up. It's crazy, but I put my schedule on hold because I was worried about somebody coming into my apartment and maybe taking something. And the thing that I don't want messed with most is, of course, my computers, because that's what I do. That's my life, basically. But in any case, the money trap. I've talked about this so many times, and we'll probably talk about it many more times. The whole thing is a scam. Money has been a scam from the very beginning. It was a way to keep humans enslaved without them realizing they were enslaved. The value of our money in the United States and around the world has been controlled by people whose game is control. They want to be the top dog. They lie terribly. Earlier today, I watched a video by David Icke, and he gets accused of being anti-Semitic, even if he doesn't mention that many of the people that run the monetary system in the worldwide claim to be Jewish. But I've talked about this and other things. They are Ashkenazis, and Ashkenazis in general are just like everybody else. They're not better or worse than anybody else. But the money system is run by a very small so-called elite group that are control freaks. They want to have a world that bows to their every wish. They want to stop free speech, free press, and many other things. Julian Assange, one report that I saw earlier today that I wouldn't have mentioned in the previous video, he is not doing well, according to some reports, and it is suggested that they're slowly killing him. He, of course, has aged a lot, and he's gone through a lot of deterioration when he was in the Ecuadorian embassy. So all of these things build up and build up and build up. We need to be fearless, and yet everything is designed to make us fearful. The whole game is to keep us in warring camps, that we don't trust one another, we can't communicate, we only get pieces of the picture, and the puzzle can't be put together because we don't see the rest of the pieces. And that's on purpose. This is not just a money trap, but it's a trap of our minds. It's a trap of our lives. I mean, I've been waiting all my life for positive change. I've been waiting recently for the RV to happen. There's been supposed to be an RV. I heard about it in the 90s already, the 1990s. Over 20 years ago, I first heard about the St. Germain Trust and all of these things. It might have even been 30 years ago. I'm not sure. A long time is what I'm saying. And it never changes. Nothing really changes. And that's the problem. We, the people of the world, need to somehow be empowered and have the codons that were turned off turned back on, so that we can stand up to these charlatans. And if they don't repent, they need to be quarantined somewhere where they can't infect the rest of wherever they are. And I don't know how that can happen. I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated at having to do this video again, but happy that my friend from Russia came to the meeting today and was there, and I missed her. You know, that's sad for me, but it is what it is. And life goes on, and hopefully we will see positive change in the days ahead. Thank you for listening, and namaste.